Welcome back, children. Today will be the last session for the surface chemistry topic. So in the previous we have already discussed some parts of surface chemistry, that is what adsorption concept, what are catalysis process, and lastly we will dealt with the colloidal system, that is colloidal solution. So I have already taught you what is meant by colloids, how to prepare colloids, what are the applications of colloids, and even how to purify the colloids. So today we will take up the last concept of colloidal solution, that is what are the different properties of colloids. So let me tell you, with a very simple properties we are going to deal some 6 to 7 properties of colloids. So the first very simple property, what we deal with, the size of the particles. So colloidal size of the particles ranges from 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, which itself is the definition for colloids. The size of the particle ranges from 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Then let us go for the second property. Second property is the filtration property. So filtration property is that they can easily pass through ordinary filter paper. Colloidal system can easily pass through ordinary filter paper but cannot pass through selective permeable membranes. Colloidal system can never pass through selective permeable membrane. Now the more important property starts from the third property, that is light, the property related to light. Colloidal particles scatters the light. Light do not pass through colloidal particle or colloidal system. Colloidal particles has a property to scatter the light, and that property we call it as a Tyndall effect. The property of scattering of light by the colloidal particle is called as Tyndall effect. Now let us see some detail about the Tyndall effect. So what is meant by Tyndall effect? It is the scattering of light by the colloidal particles. Tyndall effect definition is the scattering of light by the colloidal particles is called as Tyndall effect. So how does the light get scattered by the colloidal particle? Now consider this to be a colloidal particle. So when a light is falling on this, let it be a ray of light. When light is falling on it, it do not pass, it get scattered in all direction. It is going to get scattered in all direction. Then you will see that the light is increasing the path. Now suppose another particle is here. Then it is going to again scatter the light in all direction and it is going to increase its area. And you will see that there is formation of cone-like structure. When every particle scatter the light in equal direction, there will be formation of a cone-like structure, and that cone is called as either Tyndall beam, it is called as a Tyndall beam or Tyndall cone. It is called as Tyndall beam or Tyndall cone. So this phenomenon you can see in the picture hall when the light is passing from. When the light is passing from the projector, you will see the light is forming a cone-like structure and it is falling on the screen. So let me try to demonstrate it by a very simple experiment. Now I will demonstrate the Tyndall effect only with the two systems. This is one torch light, you can see the torch which is passing in a straight. I'll show you how it is done. And this is a colloidal system. Nowadays sanitizers are very famous. So with this two simple thing, I'll show you the Tyndall effect. Now please see the board. So I'm putting a torch light. You can see it is focusing only on the board. A circular path is seen on the torch light. Now as I take this system, colloidal system, and inside the board, you can see the light is getting scattered. There is formation of a cone here. Can you see the cone? I hope you can see the cone-like structure here. Again, if I remove this, you can see the straight torch light will be focused. Again, if I take a colloidal system here, see the focus. It is forming a cone-like structure. So this property is called as Tyndall effect. Let us continue with some more conditions for the Tyndall effect. So there are few conditions to Tyndall effect to take place. Any small particle won't scatter the light in this way. There are two conditions when the Tyndall effect is seen. That is, the refractive index between the dP and dm should vary by a greater value. रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स दोनों का डीपी और डीएम का रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस रहना चाहिए. रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ dispersed phase and dispersion medium should vary. That means only little not. Now suppose dP is having an refractive index of 1.5 and dm is having an refractive index of 5. Then there is a greater variation is there. Variation, if there is a greater variation, then only there will be Tyndall effect. The second condition when the Tyndall effect can take place, the wavelength of the light falling on the particles must be greater than the wavelength of the colloidal particles. जो वेवलेंथ लाइट का गिर रहा पार्टिकल के ऊपर उससे वो ज्यादा रहना कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल के साइज से. If the wavelength of the light is greater than the colloidal particle present in the medium, then only Tyndall effect can take place. So fourth property of colloids. So Brownian's movement. It is the zigzag movement of the colloidal particle in its medium. So dP is dispersed in the medium and it can continuously just go on moving, collide with each other, change the direction and move. And that movement we call it as a Brownian's movement. So how do the Brownian's movement occur? Now suppose this is one particle. When energy is put on this particle, it is going to collide with another particle. This particle is going to collide with another particle. This particle is going to collide with another. This is going to collide with another. Like this continuous there will be collision. And the zigzag movement of the colloidal particle is called as Brownian's movement. And this is developed due to the development of kinetic energy within the particle. जब particle एक दूसरे से collide करते हैं, there is increase in the kinetic energy of the particle. When the particles collide with each other, there will be development of the kinetic energy, and due to this collision, direction is going to change and it makes the particles to move in a zigzag movement, which is called as a Brownian's movement. So let me try to demonstrate this also with a simple device. Now, when I take a torchlight in a dark room or while traveling in a path, you can easily see if it is dust particles are moving. If there is dust particle, you can see the zigzag movement of the dust particle which is within the Tyndall beam. You can see the dust particle within the Tyndall beam. So this zigzag movement of the particle is called as a Brownian's movement. So let us go to the next property, that is fifth property of a colloidal system. This property is very important because we study to detect this property by various methods. So the property is a electrical property of colloidal system. As stated earlier, colloidal particles are always charged. They may be positively charged particle or they may be negatively charged particle. So here are some positive colloids, that is positive charge colloids. All hydrated metal oxides are positive charge colloids. Then hemoglobin present in blood is positive charge colloid. Basic dye is positive charge colloid. So one of the example of basic dye is methylene blue. Blue color का ink के जैसा stain रहता, that is a basic dye. Hydrated metal oxide, very common example is rust. Fe2O3.3H2O. That is a positive colloid. Some of the examples of negative colloids are all metal soles. So one of the example of metal sole is gold sol, which you have studied to prepare it by Braddock's electric arc method. Then metal sulfide sols. Metal का sulfide sol, iron sulfide it may be, zinc sulfide it may be, but very common is arsenious sulfide sol. Then any acidic dye, eosine is one example of acidic dye. Then gum, dirt, dust, clay, mud, these all are negative colloids. Then how to detect the charge on the particles? Colloidal particles may be positive or negative. Then how you are going to detect the colloidal particles, charge on the colloidal particle? So the detection is done by three methods. One is electrophoresis, or it is often called as cataphoresis. Electrophoresis or cataphoresis. Then preferential surface adsorption. Preferential surface adsorption. And the third detection is by micelle formation. Soap or dirt micelle formation. So next we will take up the detection in detail, because the detection is there in 2 marks questions come from this detection part. Electrophoresis and this preferential surface adsorption. Now let us take up the detection of charged colloidal particles by a method called as electrophoresis or cataphoresis. So what is meant by electrophoresis? It is the movement of the charged colloidal particle. It is the movement of the charged colloidal particle towards the opposite electrode. Towards the opposite electrode under the influence of electricity. जब हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास करेंगे, चार्ज कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल अपोजिट इलेक्ट्रोड की तरफ मूव होना स्टार्ट हो जाता. अगर कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल नेगेटिव है तो पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल में मूव होगा. इफ इट इज पॉजिटिव देन इट विल मूव टुवर्ड्स नेगेटिव टर्मिनल. सो विच इज डन बाय ए वेरी सिंपल डिवाइस. See how it is done. A U-tube is taken, glass U-tube is taken, which is filled with colloidal system. एक U-tube लेके उसको colloidal system उसके अंदर भर देते हैं. फिर वो system में क्या करते हैं? 2 platinum electrodes are introduced. Into this U-tube, 2 platinum electrodes are introduced. And they are connected to the electrical source. Negative terminal, positive terminal. Cathode, anode. Negative terminal is cathode, positive terminal is anode. On passing electricity, depending on the charge of the colloidal particle, अगर colloidal particle positive हुआ और हम electricity pass कर रहे हैं, तब all the positive colloidal particle will move towards cathode. यहाँ का density इधर move होना start हो जाएगा. Then we can detect. यहाँ का density कम हो जाएगा, यहाँ का density ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. So then immediately we can detect the colloidal particle is negative, positive. Sorry. Now suppose on passing electricity, all the particles are moving to this direction, and the density of this part is increasing. The density of this part is increasing. Then the colloidal particle is negative because the terminal is positive. Then this cataphoresis or electrophoresis, while doing it, if we introduce a semi-permeable membrane at the center, यहाँ पे अगर एक सेमी परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन डाल देते हैं, देन पार्टिकल्स मूवमेंट इज रेस्ट्रिक्टेड एंड दैट वी कॉल इट एज इलेक्ट्रोऑस्मोसिस. This method is called as electroosmosis. So when electrophoresis is carried out by using a semi-permeable membrane or selective membrane, then that phenomenon we call it as electroosmosis. Next method of detecting charge on the colloidal particles is by preferential surface adsorption. Preferential surface adsorption. What does this mean? If the colloidal system is immersed in an mixture of electrolyte, एक कोलॉइडल सिस्टम को हम अगर बहुत सारे इलेक्ट्रोलाइट मिक्सचर में डिप कर देते हैं, द कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल हैज द कैपेसिटी टू ओनली सिलेक्ट इट्स लाइक आयोन. जो लाइक आयोन रहता कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल से लाइक आयोन रहता, दे गेट एब्सॉर्ब ऑन द सरफेस एंड द पार्टिकल डेवलप्स चार्ज. And this method we call it as preferential surface adsorption. See, I have tried to illustrate with a simple example. Now suppose I take a colloidal system of silver iodide. A colloidal system ले रही silver iodide and it is immersed in an electrolyte solution. Suppose the electrolyte solution is of silver nitrate is there, potassium nitrate is there, sodium nitrate is there and many more, many electrolytes may be there. But because silver is a common ion, silver ion is the common ion, so silver ion get adsorbed on the surface and the colloidal system develop a positive charge. उसी तरीके से I can change the charge on the colloidal system also. Now suppose same silver iodide is immersed in another system where I have taken potassium iodide, I have taken potassium chloride, I have taken magnesium nitrate and many other electrolyte solution. So among all these three, which ion is the same ion of the colloidal system? Iodide is same ion. Preferential surface same ion इसके ऊपर आके adsorb हो जा रहा and iodide is negative, so the colloidal system is developing negative charge. But here the colloidal system is developing positive charge. Now जब ये develop हो जा रहा उसके चारों तरफ एक बाई लेयर फॉर्म हो रहा है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का. दिस इज पॉजिटिव और जो सॉल्यूशन में नेगेटिव आयोन्स है लाइक नाइट्रेट आयोन, these are going to be electrostatically attracted with this charged colloidal system and that there will be development of a potential difference and that potential difference is called as zeta potential. That is called as zeta potential. So this layer, this is called as fixed layer. ये लेयर को बोलेंगे फिक्स्ड लेयर, फिक्स्ड लेयर. और इसके चारों तरफ जो अपोजिट चार्ज का लेयर बन रहा दैट इज कॉल्ड एज डिफ्यूज्ड लेयर. उसको बोलते हैं डिफ्यूज्ड लेयर. So there will be a potential developed between the fixed layer and the diffuse layer, fixed layer and the diffuse layer, and that potential is called as zeta potential. Now let us go for next method of detection, micelle formation. Micelle formation can be explained by soap micelle formation. Soap has two parts, a long fatty acid chain part which we call it as a hydrophobic part. This part is called as hydrophobic part. Hydrophobic part always have fear from water. And the charged part, salt acetate part, potassium salt acetate हो सकता, sodium salt acetate हो सकता, that part is called as hydrophilic part, that loves water, that wants towards water. Now when a dirt is coming inside the water, soap water, सोप अपने आप को बचाने के लिए क्या करता, हाइड्रोफोबिक पार्ट डर्ट के अंदर घुस जाता है. द हाइड्रोफोबिक पार्ट ट्राइज टू गो इनसाइड द डर्ट एंड हाइड्रोफिलिक पार्ट आउटसाइड द डर्ट. It is towards water, whereas hydrophobic part away from water, hydrophilic part towards water, and it is increasing the density, mass of the dirt. And I repeat, hydrophobic part get inside the dirt and hydrophilic part tries to be towards water. जो charge part रहता वो पानी की तरफ रहता है और जो fatty acid part रहता, hydrophobic part, they try to get inside the dirt and the size of the dirt increases, the mass of the dirt increases and it starts settling down. How the cleansing activity is done. And the next property is coagulation property. The most important property of colloids is coagulation property. So as we have discussed earlier, there are two types of colloidal system: lyophobic colloidal system, lyophilic colloidal system. Lyophobic colloids are unstable, they can easily coagulate. इजीली कोएगुलेट मतलब वो जल्दी से डीपी एंड डीएम सेपरेट हो जाता. सो दैट प्रॉपर्टी इज कॉल्ड एज कोएगुलेशन. सो व्हाट इज कोएगुलेशन? इट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग द साइज ऑफ कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल्स. The process of increasing the size of colloidal particles by physical or chemical agents. When we increase the size of the colloidal particles starts settling down. Colloidal particle अपने आप settle down हो जाएगा and that we call it as coagulation. Sometimes coagulation is also called as flocculation or precipitation. It is also commonly called as flocculation and precipitation. So I will explain you the coagulation method by very simple experiment. See here, I am taking a test tube filled with milk. Milk is a colloidal system. This is milk. In another test tube, I have taken few drops of lemon juice. Milk is a system. Can you find out DP कहाँ है, DM कहाँ है? No. But when I add little amount of lemon juice contains citric acid. It is the electrolyte needed. Now when I am adding little amount of electrolyte, lemon juice, and after some time I will shake you and show how it is going to convert into paneer. Wait for few minutes, you can see the formation of paneer easily. So the right one is a pure milk. So in this I have added lemon juice. So you can see the milk has started precipitating or coagulating. The milk is clearly precipitating. It is settling down. The size of the colloidal particle, when it increases, it starts settling down, and that phenomenon we call it as coagulation. This is non-coagulated colloid. Right side is non-coagulated and the left is coagulated. You can clearly see it. So this is how the paneer is prepared. पनीर से हम सब्जी बनाते हैं. पनीर is used for many things. रसगुल्ला, it starts watering the mouth. So paneer is prepared by this method. Now, when we speak about coagulation, if I can add citric acid to coagulate. I can add sulfuric acid to coagulate. I can add tamarind juice to coagulate. इमली का पानी भी डाल सकते हैं, उसमें भी एसिड रहता है. नींबू के रस में भी एसिड रहता है. सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड लैब में यूज करते हैं. दैट ऑल्सो आई कैन यूज. अकॉर्डिंग टू यू, विच एसिड इज गोइंग टू कोएगुलेट फास्टर, चिल्ड्रन? सो ऑब्वियसली यू नो किंग ऑफ एसिड इज सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड में अगर एक ड्रॉप डाल दूंगी, 1 लीटर पूरा दूध पनीर में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. जबकि नींबू का रस completely I have to add 2 spoon of lemon juice to coagulate 1 liter of milk. So that quantity of the electrolyte required to coagulate 1 liter of the colloidal system is called as flocculation value. So flocculation value FV. It is the millimoles of electrolyte. Millimoles of electrolyte required to coagulate 1000 ml of colloid. 1 लीटर colloid को coagulate करने के लिए कितना amount electrolyte चाहिए in millimoles is called as flocculation value. Again I repeat, the millimoles of electrolyte required to coagulate 1 liter of colloidal system is called as flocculation value. Now this requirement again depends on a rule given by Hardy and Soules, and we call it as Hardy and Soules rule. So coagulation के लिए what is necessary? The charge of the colloid. If the charge of the colloid is positive, the coagulation factor is going to be negative. If the charge of the colloid is negative, the coagulating factor is going to be positive. So based on that, Hardy and Soules has given a rule. We call it as Hardy and Soules rule. What does it state? Greater the charge on the active ion, greater the charge on the active ion, more is the coagulation capacity. Greater the charge on the active ion, more is the coagulation capacity. सभी active ion क्या है? What is meant by active ion? The ion opposite to the colloidal particle. The charge of the ion opposite to the colloidal particle, that acts as active ion. Now I have tried to explain you with blood. Blood has hemoglobin, that is nothing but positive colloid. So blood को अगर coagulate करना है, what do I need? The active ion will be negative. The active ion is going to be negative. So I have chosen 3 electrolyte: aluminium phosphate, sulfuric acid and aluminium chloride. Out of this active ion, so charge on phosphate is -3, charge on sulfate is -2 and charge on chloride is -1. So greater the charge on the active ion, greater the charge on the active ion, more is the coagulation capacity. So this phosphate will be required in very small amount, whereas chloride will be required on a very large amount. So that can be reversed also. If the system is negative, then the active ion will become positive. So the last property of colloids is just reverse of coagulation, that is protective action. The reverse or opposite of coagulation is protective action. As you know, lyophobic colloids are unstable. Lyophobic colloids बहुत unstable होता है. उसमें अगर थोड़ा बहुत इलेक्ट्रोलाइट गिर गया, हीट करेंगे, तो what it is going to? It is going to coagulate or it is going to precipitate. So some electrolyte or some chemical can be chosen to prevent this coagulation is called as protective action. So what is the actual definition? The prevention of the coagulation of lyophobic soles. The prevention of the coagulation of lyophobic soles by adding small amount of lyophilic sole. Prevention of coagulation of lyophobic sole by adding a small amount of lyophilic sole. So the sole which is going to prevent the coagulation, those type of soles are called as protective soles. These soles are called as protective soles. Now a very common example. आपको आइसक्रीम बनाना है दूध से, and when I add, suppose उसमें ऑरेंज जूस डाल के दूध को बॉईल कर रहे. The orange juice is containing citric acid. As you saw, the milk is going to coagulate. पनीर में convert होने के complete chances रहते हैं. So to prevent this coagulation, आइसक्रीम बनाते जब always we take gelatin. Gelatin is a lyophilic sole. It is a stable sole which is going to prevent the coagulation of this milk. So this depends on, or the protective sole depends on a number which is going to be the best protective sole. That depends on a number called as gold number. So what is meant by gold number? The milligram of protective colloid. The milligram of protective colloid which prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of standard gold sole, 10 ml of standard gold sole from 1 ml of 10% NaCl solution. I will repeat. The milligram of protective colloid which prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of standard gold sole from 1 ml of NaCl solution. 10% NaCl solution. Now suppose I take a 10 ml of gold सोल, इसमें तो है नहीं मगर एक 10 ml अगर गोल्ड सोल ले रहे, इसमें मैं अगर 1 ml NaCl डालूंगी वो कोएगुलेट हो जाता. नाउ इफ आई ऐड इन दैट हीमोग्लोबिन थोड़ा डाल दी, नहीं तो स्टार्च पाउडर इफ आई ऐड, और इफ आई ऐड दिस जिलेटिन, then the coagulation can be prevented. So that amount, how much is to be added? That amount is called as gold number. So it is found that gold number of starch is 25. Gold number of albumin is 1. Gold number of arabic is, gum arabic is 0.15. Hemoglobin is 0.03. Whereas gelatin is the best protective sole whose gold number is minimum 0.005 to 0.01. So what does this mean? Once a question had come. Gold number of starch is 25. What does it mean? इसका meaning क्या है? What does it mean? 25 milligram of starch can prevent the coagulation of 25 milligram of starch can prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of standard gold sole from 1 ml of 10% NaCl solution. Then one gold number of albumin is 1. That means what? 1 milligram of albumin can prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of standard gold sole from 1 ml of 10% NaCl. So the best protective colloid is gelatin. Hardly we need 0.005 milligram to prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of standard gold sole from 1 ml of 10% NaCl solution. Last part of colloids or the surface chemistry related last part now. Some important notes to be noted down. You have studied about under types of colloid. Soles बोलकर एक पढ़े रहते. Soles are the colloidal system in which DM is liquid and DP is solid. Liquid में solid disperse रहता, that is called as a sole. So in that soles are of 3 types: aquasol, alkosol, benzosol. When do we call aquasol? When the DM is, that is dispersion medium is water, then we call it as aquasol. Alkosol, when the DM is alcohol. Name itself suggests, अगर DM alcohol है तो alkosol. Benzosol, so when the DM is benzene, then we call it as benzosol. Now all again you have studied about the emulsion. Emulsions are the type of colloidal system in which the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium both are going to be liquid. Like if I take oil droplet and water, एक टेस्ट ट्यूब में पानी लेके ऑयल ड्रॉप डालती, उसको बहुत शेक कर रही, इट फॉर्म्स एन इमल्शन एंड दीज इमल्शंस आर हाईली अनस्टेबल. So the stability of the emulsion can be increased by adding a chemical substance, and that we call it as emulsifying agents. So the emulsifying agents are the chemical substances which increases the stability of the emulsion. So how does it is increasing the stability? It forms an interface. It is forming an interface between the surface and the particles. It is forming an interface between the surface and the particles. So I will illustrate with some simple example. आपको मार्बल दिए, गोटी जो खेलते हैं, ग्लास के मार्बल दिए, उसके ऊपर आपको और एक ग्लास का मार्बल रखो. If I give one marble and ask you to put another marble on that, can you put? No, it is going to slip. But over the first marble, if I apply a layer of फेविकॉल, एक लेयर फेविकॉल का लगा दे रही, उसको ड्राई करने दे रही, आफ्टरवर्ड्स इफ आई आस्क यू टू पुट द मार्बल, इट विल बी एब्सॉर्ब्ड. it is going to stay on the surface. So that Fevicol layer is acting as emulsifying agent. Emulsifying agent always form a interface layer between the surface and the particles. So some of the important emulsifying agents are in water, in oil. So when water is added to oil, that type of emulsion, heavy metal salts of fatty acids and long chain alcohols acts as emulsifying agent. And if the emulsion is oil in water, पानी में oil डाल रहे हैं, that emulsion, the emulsifying agent is proteins, gums, natural and synthetic soap. So children, with this simple videos, I conclude the chapter called as surface chemistry. Thank you.